Australia, 2 unbeaten teams. Australia, the winner of this competition a couple years ago when it was played in Zaragoza, Spain. I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Shona Thorburn. And welcome, Shona. We watched some good games yesterday, and now we know that these two teams are both going to be playing for a medal. We just don't know which one.
Yeah, you know, I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be so far the game of the tournaments. You have the defending champions in Australia from 2016 at the U17 level. So Australia knows what it's all about. And France, they want to get on the podium.
And we know that France are always there or thereabouts in terms of making their mark at tournaments. France, obviously, the women have done exceptionally well over the years, the past decade.
Yeah, and this
at
is
senior team level, I'm talking like at Olympic Games in London,
2012.
silver medal, yeah.
And this is a generation that the French Federation are very excited about. You know, they're kind of putting them in that same couple of these players in that same generation as the Céline Dumerx, the Elodie Gaudin, you know, the players that got France that medal at the Olympics. So that's a lot of shoes to fill, but they're very excited.
We'll talk about pressure. You know, Australia is, without question, one of the teams in basketball, both men and women. And the women, the Opals, the senior team has made their mark. And all of these players here dream of one day of becoming Opals. And who would bet against some of them making it all the way? I mean, you know, we've got Olympic Games coming up in a few years. And you never know, in a couple of years, you might have one or two of these players there.
Absolutely. I think 2020 might be on the level for these young women to reach. If not, 2024, especially for France. You know, they're talking about these women are going to be playing in Paris 2024. So that's enormous. I mean, imagine having them talking about that when you're only 16, 17 years old. So it's exciting for both these teams.
We saw you know, the player for Australia, who a lot of people obviously down under will know, and people, you know, she's been raising eyebrows, has been Shyla Heal. Obviously, when you have the last name Heal and you're playing basketball in Australia, somebody says, is she related to Shane Heal? Well, in fact, she is. She's the daughter, and she's showing signs of greatness.
She is, and you know who she is also being compared to is Christy Harrower. So those of you who are tuning in and know Australia basketball, it's not a bad little, you know, other point guard to be compared to. So
yeah, the world champion,
Olympic medals. You know, help put Australia on the map, basically. So that's a great honor for Shyla Heal to already have.
But they are definitely not a one-woman team, nor is this French side. We were very impressed by them yesterday. We certainly didn't see much drop-off when you took the starters off and you brought the second five into the game when they were playing Latvia. It's a very good, deep, talented team.
Yeah, I think, you know, Marine Fatou, the point guard for France, is great. But coming right off the bench, you have Guyonac, who can again pick up full court and get into it.
Please stand up for the national anthems. First, the national anthem of Australia.
Nothing went downhill.
We're going to pause to look like the national anthems.
And now the national anthem of France.
Okay, the national anthems have been played. We're about 4 minutes away from the tip, and the players will meet at midcourt as well as the coaches. And also the referees will get a look at. This being a World Cup, you have referees from all over the planet. And there they are lining up to do what is one of the marquee games in this competition. So it's a great honor for them to be able to adjudicate this one. Matijek from the Czech Republic, Alejandro Sanchez from Uruguay, and Yevgeny Mikhayev from Kazakhstan. And we're going to get a look at the rosters for both of these teams. And we've spoken about some of the players. Keep an eye on Lily Scanlon from Australia. She wears number 8. She's the second leading scorer in this team. Agnes as well, with 7 points per game. Of course, we talked about Shyla Heel, and Agnes is doing a great job on boards, as is Isabel Anstey. And you have to, what can you say about the coach? He coached this Australia team a couple years ago to a title. He's going for 2 in a row.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk. He's, the up-and-coming coach here in Australia.
Starting 5. So Shyla Heel, Isabel Palmer, Agnes, as we talked about, Gemma Potter, and Isabel Anstey, whose father, Chris, also played. Gosh, I'm getting old because I remember him playing back in 1998 at the FIBA Basketball World Cup in Athens. He was a great player in his day, and certainly the apple does not fall far from the tree in that sense. She's a great player as well. For France, who stands out for you?
I talked about Marine Fatou, but then let's not forget about Rupert. Her father was also a national team player. She has the experience, and it's scary because when you look at her and then you saw Sandrine Gruda at the age 16, 17, and they're very similar. So, we talked about Christy Heroward. I'm sorry, here you go for France. We have the starting lineups, no surprise. Fatou, Wadu, the three-point shooter, Iwodu, Sherry, and Rupert. I mean, all those players are incredibly good. But like we said, it's also the bench, especially for France. I think they have a great bench. No one plays more than about 24 minutes for France. That's a good sign.
And also Rupert, the daughter of the late Thierry Rupert, former France international, played 35 appearances for the national team. So some interesting, it's interesting to see a different generation come up,
A lot of blood in the, basketball genes here in these 2 teams going head to head, which is kind of exciting to see. And, Rupert did suffer a little bit of an ankle injury, and that's why she sat out the game of 16, played in the quarterfinals, not so much. But, she is only averaging around 16, 17 minutes a game.
Well, that was not Jupiler, the coach, but he's over there. You'll see him. He's pacing in front of the sidelines pretty much from the opening tip. He's sitting down right now. And Seabaum is already up off the seat on the left for Australia. So Anstey, number 15, will be jumping center against France's number 12, Rupert. So just getting one last time here, the rosters read out to the crowd, and we're about ready to have things start off. And that is not Shannon Seabaum. Seabaum, as I said, is already standing up in front of the bench. So the opening tip is won by Australia. And the green and gold attacking the basket to the right on your screen. The ball goes down, and a little scrap, little jump ball. And we'll take it the other way, so it'll be France ball. And, Wadu, we expect good things from her, don't we? Number 7.
She's a shooter. Anyone who knows Marie Joannes for France on the senior team, she's kind of similar with the regard that once she crosses half court, there's no shot that's bad or too far away for her to do.
Well, a little runner there goes out of bounds and goes over to Australia.
I think that was just a little too close for her. You know, she's used to this tournament. She's averaged 8.4 3-point attempts from the three-point line.
Off the hands of Agnes, and now France go the other way, and immediately we talked about the impact of Wadu rather, excuse me, and she drills it. Now Heel brings it down into the corner, and hitting the long one is Palmer. Gets it right back. So good floor vision there by Heel as she gets into the lane. Wadu. And this time was a little bit long.
France is not shy at shooting the three. They have attempted 123 pointers in this tournament so far, which is third in attempts, just behind Mali and Colombia, I believe it was. So, you know, it's kind of their go-to. Not the greatest percentage, but they're not shy about shooting it.
Well, the Sapphires put up another one. They're going to put up a lot of jumpers today. They don't get much inside. And Heel able to save it. And go out of bounds. Shot clock down to 3. And then Palmer called for a foul, leading with her left forearm.
I think that was great defense, and like I said, France and Australia are both known for their defense, but you've noticed France has already caused 3 turnovers. I mean, one was a jump ball, but it was a turnover because the ball went to France. They got that steal, and now just this. So the game's tied, but you wouldn't know it's because France has already stopped them, stole the ball 3 times.
Yeah, just putting on the pressure. She's bringing a lot of energy here for the Sapphires. And now an offensive foul. So a couple of offensive fouls are called early for 2. Again. And yeah, are they calling this?
Moving screen.
Oh, it's a screen, okay.
You know, she is not someone you want to see get into foul trouble early because, you know, France need her. She's averaging 10 points a game, 8.5 rebounds in only 16 minutes. It's very efficient.
Hands it off now. Agnes over to Palmer. Palmer again dumps it to Agnes. And Steve. And Repair flies in and gets the rebound. Now the drive, and the Rotary turns it over. Up ahead, Palmer. And then Palmer, her pass not caught by Potter. And now it is Wadu again. A little, would you say, sloppiness. Calm down a little bit.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think Australia needs to run some plays, stop turning the ball over. You know, I know Wadu made her first 3-point attempt, but maybe reverse the ball one time for France, get into something, go inside out.
Oh, look at Agnes with the block. Start here for this first semifinal. It's Australia beating Italy to get here in their last game, and the drive in the basket from Heel.
And you talk about a low-scoring game. Two defensive teams, so are we really that surprised?
No, we're not. And
every basket is going to be worked for, or it's going to be a great shot against these two teams.
That's right. We did see France turn on a little bit in the quarterfinal against Latvia, and that's a nice jump shot from the Warriors. Ecuador gets her first points. into it. And the penetration off the dribble, and Palmer puts it up and in.
You see both these teams are picking up full court, and that's...
Repair that time.
That was an easy basket, but look at them. Both of them are picking up full court. This is the game plan. We're going to see 40 minutes of full court pressure defense from both these teams.
It's interesting because as the ball goes out of bounds, speaking to Shane Hill before the game, he did not anticipate, well, he was saying that Australia's strength was not their full court defense, but that they're very good defensively.
But, you know, you have Heel who's going to pick up. You have Scanlon who comes on for Heel, which, you know, as your backup point guard to be your second leading scorer on the team. She's incredibly fast, so I think you're still going to see it. Maybe their posts don't necessarily, you know, you won't see Nancy picking up the post player or staying full court on a rebound, but their guards are very capable of doing it.
Well, Eliza Hollingsworth has checked into the game for Anstey. Number 12. And she's picked up her first foul.
You know, I was talking about turnovers, and France has done an excellent job defensively so far. Australia already have 5 turnovers. They only average 13.8 per game leading up to this game. So, you know, I think that's something that Coach Shannon's going to have to talk about in a timeout or at the end of this quarter, because we would have a lot more opportunities if we stop turning the ball over, but we're already still right in it.
Yeah, exactly. Goes behind her back, brings it up. And again, this is a strength of the French as they bring some very good players off the bench, including Pardon. Well, another three-pointer for Australia's number 7, Palmer. And she is indeed a weapon. She can knock down those threes.
You know, talking about Australia before the game, they haven't shot the three-pointer well. And so I'm not really surprised that they've already knocked down a few early, because they are very capable of shooting the three.
Well, Repair gets another 2 for France. It's interesting, Palmer coming into this game was just 2 of 13 from three-point range. So she's had a good start. And
traditionally, Australian teams are good at shooting the three. So you knew they were capable, and now, you know, about time they're starting to knock them down. And you typically see that near the end of a tournament as well. People start to get a little bit more comfortable with the gym, the play. You know, you just sort of settle in. So I'm not surprised that we are seeing that from Palmer. And I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see more.
Well, here she is again. Bring some rain! Palmer drills it. Her third three-pointer in the first 6.5 minutes. And she'd only hit 2 threes coming into the game.
Yeah, you know, for the tournament, she's only averaging 2.4 points as well. So she's far succeeded that already.
I'm just trying to box out, and I think they're going to call, yeah, they're going to give it to France. Hey, the size of Rupert is looms large.
Yeah, you know, like I said, if you're being compared to a possible Sandrine Bruda, you're clearly very talented, and France already know this, and so does the league, because she has just signed her first professional contract, and she will go to the best team in France, which is Bourges, for the upcoming season.
Oh, what a great situation that is. Bourges, obviously, a real basketball town. There's Heel. Cross court. Over to Palmer. She drives in this time, puts up a 2, follows up a miss. And she was fouled from behind. So she has, without question, been the aggressor.
Yeah, she has. She's obviously feeling very confident after knocking down a couple of those threes, and the defense has to guard her closer now, so that's going to open up lanes for her. It was just a good job of following her shot, staying with it, getting the offensive rebound. some subs coming in for both teams, and really the level is not going to let up. You have Ganouk, who number 29 just checked in for France. Great defender. You'll be seeing her pick up full court.
Giboulet has called timeout for France. A little bit of momentum here for Australia, and they needed 15 to 11. That's their latest 2 points.
And, you know, I think it's more of just kind of a strategical timeout. It's only 4 points. It's still early in the game. They already have a lot of steals.
Protecte latéral, on vous l'a dit.
Palmer
on vous
knocking
l'a
down
dit.
those threes
Sur les
kind of
protectes
separated them a
latéraux, on va
little
se
bit,
faire
but I think it
massacrer.
might be a lot of talk
On vous
about
l'a dit.
offense when we can listen in here.
Deuxième chose, ça fait 3 tirs à 3 points. Parce qu'on fait
He
pas
just said
l'effort
we had
d'eux.
3 shots
Parce
at
qu'on
3.
pense, on mise sur leur maladresse. Pour l'instant, c'est pas vraiment payant. C'est touché, cadré.
Saw the great three-point shooting there.
You're just going to step out, throw the ball, and you're going to curl it for a layup. We got that? Yep, perfect. If not, now you're just flaring and shy, you're coming off straight. So Palmer's here, Lil's here. Palmer's going to run off the top. As soon as she runs past Fowler, get her the ball, right? And now Palmer's going to curl that. We're going to get her a layup there. No, just keep cutting. Cut straight off.
That last foul, which I didn't say, was on Zoe Wadu, so she's now on the bench. And it's Cherie, Ewodu, Guénoc, Pardon, and Salon.
And you just heard the French coach talking about offense. Both coaches were talking about their offensive attacks and what they're going to do next. And it's true, you're looking at the statistics here. France has attempted 5 threes, made 1. They've only had 5 inside touches, 2-point shots as well, and they've made 3 of those. You got to look to go inside a little bit more with France.
Hands it off. Pardon gets it down low to Ewodu. And with her left hand. Excuse me, that was Kendra Cherie. Scanlon, who hit her first 2 points there in Australia. Another turnover. It's been a problem for them in the first quarter. A lot of people who are watching this game, you see Guénoc misses. Among the spectators, USA basketball coach, women's coach Dawn Staley has checked into the house. I'd like to see who the potential players are going to be. Obviously, they're here to watch their own teams as well. There's a replay. Is the game scrappy, would you think?
There's a lot on the line. Both these teams know it. They're defensive-minded teams anyway, so it's a little scrappy, but I'm really not surprised, you know, that they want to win. This is how they know to win, so it's going to be 40 minutes of this kind of defense and this kind of scrappiness.
This is Fowler in the game as well for Australia, and another basket takes it up to a 6-point lead. Scanlon making immediate impact coming off the bench here. 4 quick points for her.
Not surprised. We did talk about her being the second leading scorer for this Australian team. She's honestly maybe one of the most consistent for them in this tournament.
But interesting, both she and Healer on the court at the same time. Now the 3-point attempt, no good, but the long rebound.
Keep in mind, you know, Dawn Staley checked into the building. There's going to be a lot of U.S. coaches here.
Offensive foul, and the foul on Salon. Janelle Salon for a pick. Moving screen is the call.
Both these teams, we talked about defense, we talked about it being scrappy, but I don't know if you've noticed, anyone who has tried to use an on-ball screen, there is a hard step out by the post defender. That's very exciting to see, but both ways, I mean, it's aggressive. They've been told, hey, we're stepping out, we're making every pass, every dribble very difficult.
They've been told, take no prisoners. We're in the final minute of the opening quarter. Australia leading it 17-11 over France in this first semifinal of the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup in Minsk, Belarus. Here's Heel. Shot clock down to 7, launches it. An offensive rebound, and the ball blocked. So Fowler had her shot swatted. Heel is going to inbound it. clock now. Scanlon, shot clock down to 5. Oh, she's activated. Look at that! She goes all the way.
She's deceiving.
Very.
She's incredibly fast and very deceiving. She's exciting to watch.
And now she's playing some D on Fotu, but the foul has been called on Lily Scanlon. Talk about feisty defense. That's defense there that probably Harrow would have been proud of. Remembering how she used to get right up in your face.
Full court, exactly.
Power comes out. Guards Fotu. Fotu gets into the lane, goes off the left foot, shoots, and almost doesn't go in. So promising start for the Sapphires of Australia. They lead it 19-11 at the end of the first quarter.
I think 11 points, that shows you the kind of defense.
So 19-11, Australia on top of France. The winner will face either the USA or Hungary in the final. And remember, Australia won this title 2 years ago when the tournament was played in Zaragoza. Talk us through those stats.
You know, both teams are shooting pretty well. Imagine Australia didn't have those quick turnovers, how many points they could be up right now. I think 11 points in the first quarter is a testament to how strong Australia's defense is. You see the shot by Wadu, but they haven't made a three after that. And then, you know, come back, one of Palmer's threes that she already has. It's a defensive game. I think France maybe needs to talk about a little bit more help side defense, because I think they did a good job after those few first threes to cut it off, and then maybe they got a little bit too close and Australia was attacking the basket on them. So, you know, it's team defense, right? So they need to figure that out maybe a little bit more. I wouldn't be too worried. It's still early. I don't think we've seen the best quarter from France. I think we saw a very good quarter minus the turnovers from Australia. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, coach at halftime for France said, listen, we need to get the ball into Rupert and see what she can do against this Australian defense.
Well, 7 second chance points for Australia, none for France. No points from the bench so far for France. 6 for Australia. There's Agnes. And the ball goes out of bounds to Australia. Another interesting stat in that first quarter is 10 points in the paint. And obviously that's coming from those drives for Australia, just 4 for France. Here's Scanlon again. Oh, she shows us what she's got from deep. And Australia have come out shooting like a house on fire tonight from three-point range.
You know, we mentioned at the beginning, I said Australia can shoot threes. We have not seen it yet this tournament. Going into this tournament, they were only shooting 25.6%, which is one of the lowest out of the semifinal teams. And I guess they were just waiting for them to go down.
Well, Agnes made a great play defensively to come up with the ball, but then she had nowhere to go. She turned it right back over.
Yeah, that's one of those when you see the post player kind of dribbling in the backcourt, you're like, okay, just pass. Where are you going?
I love the energy that she brings, though. I mean, she really does bring it on both ends, but especially this side of the floor. Scanlon has been electric off the bench for Australia. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be cross ball. Yeah, that was great hands there by Heel.
Yeah, you know, Fatu kind of had her beat, but then she just was able to tip it out of bounds. See, you have a cross screen for Rupert, and this is what I'm talking about. This is what I think they need to do and see what she can do.
Good position. That timed battle won by France. There's Erodu. Now Scanlon tries to throw it over to Fowler. Good defense from Rupert. And now they'll try to get something inside. Cherry takes it back out, but the travel has been called on Fotu, the captain.
And, you know, I like how she's come out in the second half. Maybe she hasn't got a lot going, but she's being more aggressive. You see her trying. I know she's had a turnover there, but the last one got tipped. But she's trying to be aggressive.
They've left Scanlon open again, and this time she overshot the rim.
I think she was too open.
But the ball fell kindly right into the hands of Fowler. Palmer again, shaking and baking, but good reads from Wadu. Gets the ball, passes up ahead to Rupert, who, wow, good composure from her. She catches it and puts it up.
Yeah, and you know, that's your center who ran the court, was able to catch, 2-foot catch, go up, let the defense run by her.
The feisty heel goes and scores with a runner.
That was a great runner. See, this is something we weren't really taught when I was going through this generation. You know, the runner has really become a big part of, especially guards. You have to be able to shoot over post players. And I love that they're starting to teach it to younger athletes now.
Well, the drive, not a thing of beauty that time by France. Cherry, and now the ball ends up with Scanlon, who drives in and scores and draws the foul by Fotu. Goodness me, look at the numbers already for Scanlon. I mean, going to the basket, she is absolutely on fire.
And you know, you love that Australia's coach.
And that's a great call by the way.
She wasn't straight up. I mean, she was straight up after, but you know, while she was going up into her shooting motion, her arms were a little down, and I think it was a good job by Scanlon to also forcing it, right, so the ref could see the foul.
Le problème, c'est que là, on n'est pas lucide dans ce que l'on fait. Chaque fois qu'on a foutu le ballon dedans, chaque fois qu'on a été capable de l'emmener dedans correctement et pas de faire n'importe quoi. Lâche pas les ballons, serre-le, va au bout. Siffleront pas, tes merdes. Siffleront pas, ça. Ils ne siffleront pas. Mettez les ballons dedans quand vous allez driver, serrez le ballon, allez vous appuyer, venir fort dedans. On passe en zone. Passe en zone. 2-3.
Right, horns out, just play off that first pick. Right, flare the big, and now we're into the second one. Get wide so we've got plenty of space coming off. Remember, they're showing, right, so lift out of the corner, throw back.
So you play in France,
right, here we go.
So you're probably aware of these players and obviously understand French and everything as the former Canada international. And what was he harping about over there?
You know, he was just saying we need to get the ball inside. We need to get the ball inside. And basically stop complaining. You know, he looked at Marine Coteau, who you can tell is getting a little bit frustrated on the offensive end especially, because maybe she thinks there's fouling, maybe she thinks they're reaching, and he looked at her and he said, stop it, you know, stop complaining, stop throwing your hands up and just play, get the ball inside. And then, you know, finally he says, okay, we're going to go to a 2-3 zone because clearly they need to mix something up and, you know, maybe throw Australia's rhythm off. But with Scanlon on the floor, I might be a little scared to go into a 2-3 zone.
Absolutely. Or Palmer. Here's Wadu for 3. And the rebound from Rupert. Orodu now tries her luck. Well, if the message was to get the ball inside, they just put up a couple of threes. Maybe something was message didn't get through. Yeah, I guess they lost in translation, but certainly now they're going to get it into Fowler, and the ball goes out of bounds. And yet you don't see really with the bigs of Australia that we've seen so far that much potency. What'd you see there? A bit of contact?
You know, if I was Australia, I might have been looking for a call. But she had a great reaction, you know. She said, all right, ball went out of bounds. It's our ball. See what else happens. She didn't react. Maybe a little upset with it, but it was a good play. They didn't get the call, but they have the ball back.
Scanlon over to Heel. And that is a shot clock violation. So it turns it over. Came in talking a lot about Heel Scanlon has certainly made her mark. Palmer has done well. That's a good sign for Australia that they're not overly dependent on any one or two players. Also, Agnes we spoke about. More depth in this team perhaps than people anticipated. Look at that, great defense from Anstey and Agnes.
You know, I kind of like that matchup actually. You saw Sherry from France going up against Agnes, and they're both kind of these, maybe not the most finesse basketball players, but they both really compete when they're going at each other.
Here's Scanlon open from the left, and that time it was a little long. Anstey gets the ball back, goes up with it, and Sherry with the rebound. Awadu over to Iwodu. Iwodu's going to go straight to the basket, but she's going to get rejected. Not in my house.
You know, maybe a little bit ill-advised. I know Coach wants them getting the ball inside.
Iwodu comes up with it. That was Potter who had the block. So 2 for 3. It was deep. And Anstey with the rebound. Outlet to Scanlon.
I know Coach was trying to get something going, but you had a 3-on-2 there pretty much with Repair running the floor down the middle, and it might have maybe shot fake that 3 that she had and passed it in just for an easy basket.
Two quick hands from Wadu to reach around, knock it away, and then she gets it back, and she is fouled by Agnes. Got her with the body.
Good call by Agnes is a little surprised. She was clearly in the layup lane and hit her with the ball.
So, midway through the second quarter, and Australia have extended their lead. That was 8 points at the end of the first quarter. They're now up 12.
It's not too much because we played against it the whole time, right? So if we go gold, just get our timing, right? Catch it a little bit higher if we need to. 5, come and get them, right? When we start to dribble off, the 4's diving to seal the middle. This player's got to come up high enough that we can swing the ball to you. Once we get it there, it's all over, right? Well, if they stay in it next time, let's go a special, right? So Nuss, you'll be the top of the stack. Anstey,
really a huge part of this
Palmer,
game at this stage.
Jem,
Two taken by France.
On sauvera pas la terre, chacun de son côté. On la sauvera en étant ensemble.
How significant is this stat? France have no points coming from the bench so far. Australia have 12, but I guess the majority of those have been Scanlon.
Yeah, she has 12, so you could say the majority is coming from. I'm surprised because I think France has bench scoring. I'm a little surprised. I think it's still early. There's 25 minutes left. This isn't time to freak out. But you know, it's hard being a young player, not having a ton of experience. This is the biggest tournament that they've ever played in so far. So,
and as we said, there are a lot of people watching this game because both free throws good. A lot of people thinking, this is a player that's worth keeping an eye on, maybe trying to get my team down the road.
Exactly. You know, there's European coaches watching this tournament. There's NCAA coaches watching this tournament because these are future, you know, possible future stars for the national team, your college, whatnot.
Another good defensive stand by France, but not able to get the bucket. But good tenacity there, staying after it. Agnes goes for jump balls. Possession area goes for Australia. Just a frustrating start for France. Australia still have a lot of work to do, no question about it. France, a good team. Well, after that time, this is from deep. Repair showing her ball handling ability, but they're going to call the block. Scanlon stepped in, tried to take the charge, but she has been called for the foul.
Not a bad person who you'd want to get into foul trouble if you're France. I mean, they were both moving. I'm not really surprised by that call at all.
Nope.
Pretty talented by your 5 player, your big, to bring the ball up before half and go right at a little guard from Australia.
Mautu into the game for France, number 26. So getting her first action here. Here's Rupert. It's a very proud, emotional moment for her family, seeing her playing in a World Cup like this. No doubt. Memories of her father, who played for Le Bleu. Scanlon another three, and that time an air ball, and almost got a layup, but Anstey tipped the ball back in towards the basket and hit off the backboard. Now for Wodu. Oh, went up and down, nowhere to pass it. She caught a break. It ends up with Fotu. And now Scanlon called for the foul, and that is number 3. And that's perhaps a tough call.
Yeah. You know, obviously as a smaller player stuck behind a post, you want to try and run around, you want to try and three-quarter, if not front, tip the ball if possible. The third foul, I think that's difficult for Coach Shannon in Australia because she has been that spark that pulled away for them, helped them pull away. You know, if you think about it, she's their top scorer and she's coming off the bench, so that might be difficult. We won't see her play again this half.
Wadu has it, pulls up, and misses the mid-range. Now Shyla Hill, excuse me. Shy about anything, really. Gets after you. Here's Palmer. She's got some serious arc on that jump shot. Now Potter gets inside and scores. Well, Potter's got an array of skills, doesn't she? Went down low to Rupert. She's going right at Anstey. Turns, puts it up. Potter, another rebound for Australia.
Yeah, I like this Australian team because they don't really mind who scores. They understand everyone kind of gets their time. You know, Scanlon was on fire. They were getting her the shots.
Look at that.
This is a serious game. There's no, you know, there's no being nice right now by these two teams. So, you know, they really share the ball. Australia doesn't, you know, they know who their better scorers are. They go for them. But everyone else is also able to score when needed.
Melodi's pass over the head of Fotu.
And, you know, talking about turnovers, France already has 6 turnovers, I believe, and Australia has 12, and they're still at 10 points.
Where do you think the French coaching staff is most frustrated right now? Here's another attempt by Palmer. Brings rain again, and the 3. And folks, you just got to get her the ball. I mean, she is feeling it. Look at that. 4 of 5 from 3-point range.
Yeah, you know, so French coach is going great. We got Scanlon into foul trouble. She was causing her problems. Then who checks in for her? Palmer. And what does she do? She knocks down her 4th three.
Meanwhile, Fotu misses for France, and it's not been their night shooting from 3 at all.
No, it hasn't, and they do average a lot of 3-point attempts. They are only shooting 26.7%. It's not great considering how much they shoot, because clearly it's part of their game.
Good defense from France, forced the turnover. Now on the break, over to Fotu, gets it up, and doesn't quite pull the string, doesn't have enough on it. In that kind of game.
It has. I think that was a good job by Anstey getting back.
Good hustle from Anstey to get the ball, put it up and in. You got to get down the floor, don't you, and follow up the miss. And that is a worrying development for France. They had a layup, and Australia scored at the other end. Now Rupert gets it down low and scores.
I think that was good basketball by France there. You know, they ran something, they ran an on ball. Fotu's a great playmaker. She can make that pass easily. That's what they need to do. They need to get those kind of movements and those kind of touches and shots.
That's interesting. We're in the final minute of this first half, and Agnes blocks by Rupert. This is my house, she says. And we're going to have, coming into the game, coming back into the game for Australia is Hollingsworth, number 12.
Great block.
And next he goes out. I'll tell you something else that Shane Hill said before the game. He said, Australia, we really need to shoot the ball well to be able to win the ball game.
Because
that's what they've done.
And, you know, I think I don't know if they've been challenged so far necessarily in this tournament.
There's a three. That was long. Yep.
But they also haven't shot the ball well, and I don't necessarily believe that they have been challenged.
Ball goes into the hands now of Palmer. I mean, we say they've shot the ball well, but they've only got 34 points. I mean, it's not like they're...
You can't have more if you have 13 turnovers.
Yeah, true.
So they have shot the ball well, but unfortunately they're also turning the ball.
Well, they find, good touch pass. Oh, nice way to share the ball, Sapphires. And they will go to halftime leading it.
And this is what I'm talking
36
about.
to 21.
They don't mind who scores.
It's a fantastic little touch pass from Hollingsworth, so she could have caught it and gone straight up.
Absolutely, but she saw her teammate a little bit more open. They're very unselfish. They want to win this game, and everyone knows their role, and they enjoy playing with each other.
36-21, Australia on top of France at halftime. Okay, well, I mean, 1 of 12 from deep for France, 5 of 12,
They're not shooting particularly well from the two, but it's their better looks. It is their better looks, and they need to do a better job of getting the ball inside. You know, rebounds, look at this, 11 offensive rebounds, and typically France is the offensive rebounding team. They average around 19 a game in this tournament. So if you're missing that many, you need more opportunities, so you need to get more offensive rebounds. And you saw that 13 turnovers for Australia. It's kind of scary to imagine if they had just cut that down by half, how many points they might have. So clearly France is playing good defense, but when they don't get a steal, they're giving up a basket almost, right? And then you look at France and you say, okay, stuff's not falling for France. So what do you have to do? Get the ball inside. Okay, but still, if your 2-point shots aren't falling, your 3-point shots aren't falling, you need second chance points. And the only way you get those is off of offensive rebounds.
So we're looking at Belarusian commentator here. We're in Minsk, Belarus, and it is halftime of the first semifinal between Australia and France, and France are in trouble. I mean, they're down 15 points, and really, Shona, if you look at, go back and look at the results for Australia. Okay, no surprise they beat Angola pretty badly, 81-43. They beat Latvia decisively, 60-41. They got up on top of Canada on that one, 64-48. And they beat their Oceania rivals, New Zealand, 77-37. That was probably no surprise. And Australia whipped Italy in their quarterfinal, 64-46. So the one common theme in all of that is nobody scored many points against them. Defense. And right now it's about the same, isn't it, for France? I mean, but they've got more weapons.
France definitely has more weapons. You know, you're looking at like I said, I don't necessarily think they were challenged as much as France can challenge them and the talent that this French team has, but maybe, and we haven't really realized it, you know, we can look at their other games, we can watch their other games and say they're great on defense, but France is talented on offense. But now we're saying, wow, maybe Australia's defense is that good, that they really, no matter who they're up against, no matter how talented they are, they're able to shut teams down.
So here are the highlights, if you want to look back at it. And, you know, you see Wadu, but that's some frustrated applause there from the French coaching staff. Looking back at France's results, they opened probably with their most impressive win, maybe 60-53 over Japan. I mean, we were impressed by Japan, even though the two games that we saw Japan play, they lost. They lost to Hungary and they lost to Spain, but they looked pretty good at times doing it. France, not surprisingly, beat Colombia 78-35. They beat the host nation, Belarus, like a drum, 64-34. France were 78-57 winners over Mali, good team from Africa. And then the game that we watched them play yesterday against Latvia, they won 67-43. Although they didn't really put the pedal to the metal and pull away when we thought they might have, because they were up 16-6 at the end of the first quarter, and then they outscored Latvia again 23-8 in the second quarter, and they were well in command, but Latvia came back and closed within 15 in the second half before they ended up blowing them away. So
you don't know if that's a little bit of mental checking out. You know, you're up by so much. You know you're going to have a game tomorrow. You know, I'm sure coach decided to rest the starters. I mean, we saw that. I said there's no one in the starting lineup on right now. And that being said, I think that's also maybe something, the older you get, the more experience you get. I mean, these girls are 16, 17 years old right now. So that's just experience. You have to put teams away. You can't let up no matter what level you're at. You know, that's it. This is a competition. This is the biggest competition that they've ever played in. You put teams away. If not, they can come back. You know, good teams can come back. And that's another thing, you know, Australia needs to think about. Okay, they're up right now. They have a comfortable lead. I hope that the players don't relax a little bit, because France will come back if that happens.
Well, you know, when you look back at France's results, okay, folks, we're at halftime. It's Australia leading at 36-21 over France. We'll be right back for the start of the second half. Well, folks, the Australian Sapphires are sitting pretty right now. They are leading 36-21 over France here in the first semifinal of the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. Hashtag FIBA W17. Look at that, FIBA U17. What did I just say? Hashtag. We live in the world of hashtags now. So if you want to go on social media, that's where you go. Hashtag FIBA U17. Be anxious to read your FIBA U17 tweets later on. This is Thorburn. I'm sure you'll have quite a few things to say. But what do you say about France? I mean, obviously, there's got a half of basketball to go. It's got to start at the defensive end, but offensively, that's a frustrated group of coaches. Look at that; they just can't believe the situation they're in.
Yeah, defensively, you're saying, okay, well, we forced 13 turnovers, which is great. 13 turnovers. They had 10 steals. That's enormous for a half. But then you kind of look and you say, Australia's shooting 41% from 3, 45% from 2. Leading up to this event, they were shooting 40% and only 25% from 3. So what are you doing? Are you either only getting steals and then letting them knock down shots, or?
By the way, let me cut in. That was Dawn Staley. Did you see her?
That was Dawn Staley.
USA coach and the
coach at South Carolina.
Yeah, we'll forgive her for that. Gamecocks.
Coming from the North Carolina guy.
Yes, exactly. That's a great honor for her, and obviously she's, shall we say, one of the best, no doubt about it. Dawn Staley. She was one of the best players, and she is one of the best coaches, and that is not up for debate.
No, there is anyone who wants to try and debate that.
Yes.
You're in trouble. Just don't.
Yes. There's Shane Hill on the left and his wife on the right, and it's one of his daughters in the middle. Shane's like,
little family vacation to
feeling
Belarus.
pretty good. He's like, yeah, exactly. It's not, I mean, it's my first trip here. I love it.
I think it's great. And you know what? It's their winter right now, so it's warmer here probably than where they live.
Well, he lives in Sydney, and I don't think too many people complain about living in Sydney. But that's Orodu in France. And right now, it's all about taking better advantage of some of their opportunities on offense, playing maybe under a little bit better control.
You know, they have 7 turnovers, but they only have 7 offensive rebounds. And going into this game, they were averaging just over 19 offensive rebounds. So your shots aren't falling. You need second opportunities, and you get it by offensive rebounds. Clearly, they're stealing the ball, so they're having those shot opportunities. But if your shots aren't falling, you got to figure out a way to make a basket. So you're going to see at least 3 or 4 people crash the offensive boards.
Puts up a 3. Long rebound. One of the benefits of the missed 3 sometimes is you get the long rebound. So Fotu has it. And she finds all beautiful pass, and Rupert puts it up and in.
Beautiful pass. And what did I just say? I said, if you're missing shots, you need offensive rebounds. And look what they got out of that. A beautiful pass from Fotu to Rupert, which, you know what? I imagine in Paris 2024, we might see these same 2 players making those kind of passes together.
And boy, did you see Australia? They got it over just in the nick of time. I mean, barely. Potter misses from deep. And perhaps France, the defense, picking it up just a little bit more, forcing Australia to take that shot.
You know, I think France has the bench to be able to pick up full court, and especially off of the make, pick up full court. Hey, we need the ball. We need to slow them down. We need baskets.
Another beautiful pass, but Rupert has to go up for the board, and she is tied up, and that'll be Australia ball. Now, Fotu could have gone up for the shot there, but elected. She's like you. She's got the point guard mentality. She's passing.
You know, like we said, she comes from a basketball family. Her father also played for France, and I think she's a smart player. I think she had a frustrating first half. You saw it in her face. You saw it with some of her reactions. But she's intelligent, and the passes that she has made have been great.
Well, Hill, that just connects with your France to allow Hill to sneak in there and get the rebound off the miss from Palmer.
And, you know,
here's Hill now for 3, and no second chance points that time for the Sapphires.
Talking about Hill and you know, through
Fotu for 3, go! And just like that, Fotu comes out here in the second half and looks like a different player.
And they need that. They need that from her. They need that from their leader. And look at this.
Can he get it across? No. Great defense from France 2 times in a row. This time they get the turnover.
You know what? After a made basket, pick up full court pressure. Let's see what we can get. And sure enough, you know, they made a 3, got a steal. That's what they need. This is the kind of you always talk about the first 5 minutes out of halftime being the most crucial for both teams. And right now, France is the one. And we talked about this, though. I said, I hope Australia doesn't get a little bit relaxed.
So here they are, the pass into the corner. Fotu for 3, and this time misses, but to keep it alive is Rupert. Beat Potter to the ball. Another opportunity, and again, it's the offensive rebounds that were missing, and there they are again, and that time, who was it? It was Rupert. Could have probably come down with it.
Yeah, she tried to, you know, sort of tip that offensive rebound in, and I think she could have come down.
Look at this. She's in perfect position there.
But she stays with it. She ties it up, and it's their ball. I talked about offensive rebounding. They already have 3 offensive rebounds, a couple tie-ups, but that's what they need. And look, they've already, you know, made up a little bit of ground.
They've shaved a 3rd off the deficit, and here's Rupert. And another offensive rebound, this time by Orodu. Over to this time the Salon misses the deep. Another opportunity. Back to Fotu. She's just not going to turn that down. She's going to put it up. Another offensive rebound. And Seabon must be worried over on the Australian bench. It's like, we can't get the ball.
Yeah, you know, I don't think he wants to use a timeout because you still are up 10, but when he gets an opportunity, guess what he's going to talk about?
And foul. 2 free throws coming. And it's a totally different France team.
It is. This is the kind of French team that I think we expected to see, and clearly coach said something at halftime. It probably was not very nice. It was probably couldn't have the cameras in there listening during that moment, but it's what they needed, and it's the fire that they need to show. And sure enough, you know, they're coming back. I like this. This is what I expected to see from France.
The foul was on Agnes. And first free throw. Well, that's frustrating for Fortu, who came into this shooting 75% at the line. She hit 6 of 8. So she makes 1 of 2.
You know, talking about France's rebounds already, they had 17 offensive rebounds at half, and they have 14 now.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's like you're getting killed on the boards. There's Agnes. She drives and she gets the foul and repair.
I like Agnes. You know, she's very undersized for a 4-player, but she's tough as nails.
Yes, she is.
I mean, she just says, okay, I'm going to go up against Ruth Perry, even though she's taller, even though she's one of the top leading blockers
quick
in this tournament.
She's quick. She's got a quick jump, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Little comes out of the game. Sherry comes back into the game. Kendra Sherry. Mon Sherry. So differently?
Sherry. You know, talking about Sherry, she's actually one of the only players on this Australian team who has committed to go to the U.S. for college after finishing high school in Australia. So, you know, that's one of the interesting things. You see a lot more.
High school in France. Kendra Sherry.
Sorry, yes, Kendra, the French player. Kendra Sherry, after she's done high school in France, she's going to college in the U.S. And, you know, there's that debate. Do they develop more over there, or do they go into a pro program in Australia or in Europe? And, you know, like I said, there's a lot of U.S. coaches here scouting because they're looking at some of these players that are playing right now.
Oh, nice move inside in the basket from Rupert. You're not going to stop her. She gets it that close to the basket. And again, the full court pressure. And Australia, they may not get it. No, they do this time break it. And it's Agnes. She makes the bounce pass to Fowler. And then Fowler has the ball taken away. Boy, France have owned this quarter. 3-point attempt is good! Wadu! Zoe Wadu, and just like that, how do you do? It's 37-32. And all of a sudden, what looked like almost a runaway for Australia, this French team has clawed it back quickly.
Yeah, they have, and you know what? It started with giving themselves second opportunities in those offensive rebounds, which they have come out and do. And then it also is full court defense. They're also making baskets now, right? So they get to kind of, you know, get that split second to pick up full court as well. And that's frustrated Australia. It's completely slowed them down. They've caused turnovers out of it. They've caused bad shots.
Stick to the process.
What about those turnovers?
Okay, so press break here, get it over half, right? Let's go special, right? Go special next time, okay? Hey, just stay with it.
And you know, I think France kind of has Australia on their heels right now, and they need to just play with confidence. You saw that in the first half. They were pushing the ball, they were running, they were taking open shots. And obviously France has picked up their defense, so their shots aren't as open, but I still think they need to play with confidence. And hey, you know what? Relax a little bit. You still have the lead. There's still a lot of game left to play. And I'm sure at halftime, the Australian coach talked about, hey, listen, this French team isn't going away. Expect them to come out with something to prove, because they probably played their worst half of basketball in this tournament tonight.
So see how Australia reacts coming out of the timeout. Heel puts it on the deck. It gets blocked by, Rupert just took it right away. And now up ahead to Wadu, and she just lays it up and in. Unrecognizable right now, France, from the first half. They are on fire. And the pressure D. Oh, they're going to get the turnover. They should have called it. They take it away anyway.
It's close to an 8-second call, actually.
Chattery drives in, scores! Are you kidding me? And it's a one-point game.
Look, you have your forward player up because she's athletic, she's gutsy, she's long.
Boy, that defense, that press it finally seemed like they solved it.
So, you know, I mean,
Palmer for 3.
They didn't get the steal, but guess what? Australia was not feeling it. They didn't know what they were doing on that offensive possession, and that was because of the full court defense.
Wadu for 3, and nobody boxes out, and Wadu and France have moved in front.
You know, I thought France would come back. I thought it might have taken more than 6 minutes.
And now the question is, what does Australia do to counter this French team that suddenly has the bit between the teeth? Wow, that was an uncomfortable looking jump shot.
Yeah, probably not the shot they wanted, but that last 3 wasn't either. So, you know, what do you do?
I'll tell you what, sometimes you can judge a coach by the adjustments that he can make at halftime. I mean, if that is the basis of whether or not somebody knows what they're doing, you have to say Jupier has been terrific, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. But, you know, keep in mind, there's 8 players on this team for France play at INSEP, and guess who their coach is?
Their coach at INSEP.
So, you know, he knows them. He knows how to motivate. Oh, wow.
Not in my house, he says once again.
Nothing going well or easily for Australia right now. And it's France. They picked up their defense. They could do this all along. They just didn't in the first half.
Well, I expected her to be good, but she has exceeded expectations.
She was the MVP of Eurobasket U16 last year, so I'm not surprised. I mean, this woman just signed. This girl just signed in board. So,
Sweet 16. Look, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 4 steals, 4 block shots. Put it in bright, blinking lights right now.
Quadruple double? Is it possible?
I don't think that's going to happen, but
well, we already have a double-double.
That's already a good score. She can go home and take a shower.
She can. And you know,
the rest of the night, but they need her. Oh, almost a turnover, but she gets it back, and Chevy misses. And right now, you just get the feeling like Australia can't get anything going. And much like I think France kind of turned it on this side of the court defensively for them, it has to be that way for Australia. Because as we've seen, if France score, they put on the press, and then that just makes it even more complicated for Australia.
Yeah, exactly. So Australia needs to pick up their defense, obviously, because France is just suffocating them when they score on defense. They're making their lives very difficult. And even here, look at this. I mean,
Scanlon has it taken away and driving in for the basket was Marie Pardon. And they're just having a nightmare with the pressure.
They really are. And, you know, the Australian coach, Seabaum, he doesn't want to waste another timeout already because he's already used one. But you got to talk about, guys, hey, pass break. If I'm heel right now, I'm looking at my teammates saying, why are you just standing around? You need to give me someone to pass to.
He does have 2 point guards in the game right now. And now Fowler has it knocked out of her hands. Unfortunately for Australia, they get it back. Scanlon drives in, and Hollingsworth not able to get it. And up ahead, Repair on the break. Oh, and she just lost it. And boy, what a reprieve that was for Australia.
They got lucky there. I mean, that was an easy 2 points. And, you know, how exciting is that? That's your center who is in the mix down here on defense, and she was the first person down the court. See, right here, I think, you know, you need a little middle. You need someone on the wing. I mean, no one can see Hollingsworth. She's down underneath. Yeah, she's open, but that's an impossible pass. You kind of have to, you know, coaches talk about, like, okay, if the ball gets to the middle, she needs to be able to pass both angles, left and right, and there was no one there for her to pass left. She was coaching to the left-hand side. She didn't have a pass.
Well, that foul was on Joanna Ewodu. So she will take a seat, as will Wadu. So two back in the game. Number 4. Also in the game for France is number 9, Oar. Heel from the baseline. She gets it back. And then she was fouled by Rupert.
We didn't really talk about this earlier, but Shyla Heel is an amazing rebounder from the guard position. And she's not tall. I mean, so that is, a lot of that is grit, hustle. She's very, very good at rebounding. Defensively, offensively, it's one of her strengths.
There's got to be, you got to be able to make adjustments in basketball games. And just wonder what it is Australia can do here to stem the tide.
Yeah, weather the storm, right? You know, calm down, make it to the end of the third quarter. Coach Seabaum will have a chance to talk things over a little bit more. Pick up your defense. Find out what was working for you early.
Well, checking into the game, number 5, Amore. So she gets her first, Georgia Amore. She gets her first action. Rupert has it, going to work down low and Fowler. Oh boy, looked like she had her, but she didn't score. And the rebound from Hollingsworth. And Australia can go back in front, and if they could score here, that would lift their confidence. Here's Hollingsworth, she gets it inside, and she scores right beside Rupert.
And, you know, France is going back into a zone, and how do you beat a zone? You got to get the ball inside, and that's what they did.
Let's see if Australia can get a stop. And now a bump by Amore. So Foucault's going to inbound it. Guarded by Heel. She's got it back. And traveling was the call on Kendra Sharif. Well.
It's kind of what you see those Japanese do. You know, they sort of catch the ball and then jump. But I think they do it a little bit faster, so it's not quite as obvious.
Fowler goes baseline, passes it back out to Potter. That's off. But the ball bounces out to Heel. She puts up a jumper. And again, good hustle from Fowler to get the rebound. Back out to Heel. Australia have been on the receiving end here in the third quarter, but yet they find themselves back in front. Hollingsworth over to Potter again. Off the back of the iron. Fowler, her third rebound. Well, she could have collected it anyway. She's been active on the glass on this trip down the floor for Australia.
And, you know, that's what they need. They need to tire France out. They need to get offensive rebounds, make them play defense again, because France is really struggling them. They're causing a lot of problems for them. So what do you do?
Oh, Hollingsworth had nowhere to go, and then she just ran right into the tower of power.
I'm not sure that's the look that Australia wanted.
Well, we know the men's team, senior team, has Rudy Gobert. And watching Rupert here, it's like
protecting the rim.
The rim protector, yes. And she's going to have a stat line tonight that is going to make you salivate. It already does.
You know, she was in the running for MVP of this tournament also before this game. And I think she is putting up.
Oh, the bank is open, folks. It's Saturday in Minsk. 11, Kendra Sherry drills the 3. Now France, full court pressure again. Australia have to get it across. They get it to Fowler. Are they aware? Amore for 3 gets rejected.
What a quarter for France. I mean, they came out a completely different team.
Well, look at this. Sherry At this end, banks into three-pointer, makes that deposit. Look at this. And then at the other end, she rejects some more from three-point range.
Yeah, France just suffocated Australia. They were able to get scores. Their shots started to fall.
Well, talk about taking ownership of a game. That was France in the third quarter. I mean, they just said, we were much better than we showed in the first half. We're going to come out and really dominate. I mean, it's like night and day. Dr. Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
No more threes for Australia in that third quarter, as you can see. But now 4 three-pointers have been made by France. And also from a rebounding standpoint, 15 offensive rebounds now for France.
It's 7 at halftime. So that was clearly a point of emphasis. They are leading this tournament in offensive rebounds at 19 a game. They only had 7 at half, so below their average. And they needed that because they weren't scoring in the first half. They had a low shooting percentage, so they needed second chances. And did they ever get them in that third quarter?
Australia, interestingly, have 18 offensive rebounds, so they had 7 in that quarter as well. Although I think we saw 3 by Fowler on that last trip, or second from last trip down. And it looked like the game was about ready to just get away from Australia there, but they were able to stem the flow of points just a little bit over the last couple of minutes. And now we'll see who can come out and make some plays for the Sapphires. We've got Potter, Fowler, Heel, Moore, and Hollingsworth. And for France right now, it is Sherry, Awodu, Fotu, Rupert, and Wadou. So Wadou's been, well, she's got 10 points. Here's a Moore going baseline. The foul down low on Moore with the shot clock winding down. You just got to put your hands up. Watch this. She was chasing it. I mean, it's just
they're just so aggressive. Yeah. That was an aggressive offensive move as well. You know, she knew the player was coming out, and it was also defense. I mean, they're just playing aggressive right now. They've been playing aggressive this entire game, but it was just, you know, kind of wrong place, wrong time. I think she thought the pass was going to be a little bit further out.
Okay, so Potter's out, and Palmer's back in the game. Saloon is the only French player with 3 fouls. She's on the bench, and Heel comes in and makes a play.
And, you know, we talked about Palmer, we talked about Scanlon starting the game so well. You know, we have Heel and Anstey, and I want to see them kind of step up in this fourth quarter because they're the best players, and Australia needs them right now.
Well, his Heel rebound. The good news is, well, you would think that they'd be able to get the ball across midcourt more easily, but even off the missed shot, France were able to kind of play a little bit of full court pressure.
Yeah, they are, and you know, that was their center, Rupert, who decided to chase down Heel and forced her into a turnover.
There, and she's going to be called for the travel. Indeed. I'll tell you what, though, I mean, it is frightening to think how good she's going to be. It is frightening. She is going to be tough.
It is. She's already talented. We've seen her make moves to her left hand. We've seen her make moves to her right hand. We've seen her leading the fast break, bringing the ball up the court.
There's Palmer. Oh, a chance. Great pass from Palmer. And Hollingsworth doesn't finish. Fowler keeps it alive. Now Hollingsworth gets it back. For a great effort on the boards that time by Australia. And a terrific pass as well. I mean, the only thing Australia did not do was make the shots.
Yeah, but you know what? They stayed with it, and that's the second best thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, their offensive rebound numbers are good. They've got 20 of their 40 rebounds. Excuse me. Yeah, 20 of their 48 rebounds. They're from the offensive glass. Here's Palmer for three. And the ball goes off of Fotu's hands. Look at that great play by Fotu to chase it down. And even though she was trapped in the corner, was able to pass out of trouble. Now Fotu puts on the deck. Oh, a beautiful pass, but blocked from behind by Hollingsworth. Great play by Hollingsworth. France get it back. And they've reset the shot clock.
Yeah, I'm not sure they, I don't think Australia had possession.
And Seabaum is asking, why have they reset the shot clock? The coach of Australia. And boy, it turns out to cost them. Three-point play opportunity now for Kendra Sherry. Look at this. That was a big-time move, wasn't it?
It really was. And like I said, in the first half, I don't think she is the most finesse player out there, but she is athletic. She works hard. She can take hits. And she's made some shots for them. I mean, we saw that bank three in the end of the third.
And she crossed up her defender there. I mean, the way she's handling the ball.
And she's the person who's up on the zone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shows you how athletic she is.
And finally, Australia beat it, get down for an easy one, but then miss the shot. And now France look to extend their three-point lead. And it's Sherry again, drives in, now heel on the open floor. Over to Palmer, she's going to the basket, takes a difficult shot, a reverse layup. And I think France, that Rupert were out of bounds, was out of bounds.
Yeah, I think when the ball ended up in her hands, she had just kind of crossed onto the court. So yeah, so she has 2 feet out there. You have to be inside both feet before you can touch the ball. And you know, this zone that France has gone to, and you know, we saw them go to it in the first half, but they didn't have the pressure full court. It's frustrating Australia.
Sherry is just doing everything. Gets her hands up on the inbounds pass. And, you know, the more you watch this France team, you understand why people are excited about them, about the future of these players. Inbounds pass to here. 7.5 minutes remaining in the contest. Good hands from Sherry. Moore catches it, then puts it up and hits the three. Goodness me!
How badly did they need that?
It was about to go out of bounds.
There's 1 second left on the clock. You have an athletic post running out at you. Nothing but nets.
One of the plays of the game. And Rupert just catches it down low, turns left and scores. And I don't know many players that can guard her in that position.
No, I think she's one of the most skilled post players for her age group.
Beautiful passing by the Sapphires. The ball goes out of bounds.
Do you think one emphasis for France at halftime was, hey guys, get the ball into our best post player, one of the best post players at this age group level, Rupert, please?
Well, the coach was saying that all in the first half. He was learning to go inside. And it was getting worse before it got better for France until they got to the break. Heel got a lot of jersey there, but no call. And now let's see what Rupert can do from deep. And for Australia, look at the hustle from Sherry from France. And now another opportunity, and it really comes home to roost. And Wadu with a three. And she has a quiet 13 points.
You know, you saw those French fans in the background, and they're a little bit more hyped than they were in the first half, eh?
They are indeed now a little bit out of control. Ball And Hollingsworth goes up and called for the foul on Shetty, who, you know, as good as this Rupert has been, and she has been awesome. And you almost have to say Shetty has been just as important to the France.
We keep saying, it doesn't look great. It's not the prettiest basketball, but man, is she good. She goes, I feel like you tell her, hey, we need this rebound. Hey, we need you to tip this pass on defense. She's the one who's doing it for them.
Shot clock winding down. Fotu is going to have to launch it. She does for three. That's going to be an air ball. And Moore getting in there and trying to box out Olivia Yale.
You know, that was great defense by Hill. She's been she understands what they need to do right now. She's the one picking up full court. She's making it difficult for those French guards going against her. And you know what, they need that. But they also need some offensive contribution by her, you know.
Oh, look at this, more trouble trying to get the ball across midcourt. I'm not sure they're going to do it. They do just in the nick of time, and they make the difficult catch, but then they turn it over with the French pressure. It is a very uncomfortable. Oh, that was tough. I'm sure she went over.
And you know, again, talking about Hill, wow, do you need her leadership right now? You need her defense, but you also need her offense, because she is averaging 17 points a game in this tournament. She only has 8 tonight, so it'd be great to see her get going.
And look at the box out from Moore. And the foul is going to be called on Moore. What do you think about that? She's boxing out Yale. Watch this. Right here underneath.
I mean, she's a smaller guard going up against someone a little bit more taller, more athletic. I think it's a pretty good box out. That's what you teach guards. You know, that's what you ask them to do. Sometimes it's going to be called, sometimes it's not. More often than not, it's not.
Rupert misses, but now she is fouled. And she will go to the line. Well, I think the bottom line is Australia, if they do not win this game, they will look back and think we were up 15. And then B, they will look back at that press, and it just caused a lot of problems.
Yeah, it really did.
They have not solved that issue.
And you know, we talked about them having 13 turnovers at half, Jeff, and you know, that had to have been a point of emphasis. They already have 22, so they didn't really clean that up. You know, they're right on track to have as many as they did in the first half, but it's also the French pressure.
But let me say this.
There's a very. This game is not over. I mean, you know.
And the one encouraging thing that I see for Australia right now is they are not giving up at all. Wow. They are giving everything.
I have never seen an Australian basketball team give up at any level. Men, women, girls, boys. If there's anything to say about the way that Australians play, it's that they fight and they will fight till the end.
Moore hits it off of Fowler, and she was fouled. She'll get 2 shots. And she's been tough here in the second half for Australia. Now, Fowler came in having made 3 of 5 shots from the free throw line in this tournament. And today she misses her first attempt. Hasn't made, in fact, hasn't made a shot, hasn't scored a point today, which doesn't do her effort justice. I mean, she's been fighting. Those are 2 big misses. And Moore chasing, you know, if Australia would like to get a turnover an easy basket.
Yeah, you would.
The points are coming at a premium right now. Yale gets it to Sherry. Rupert gets it in the lane. And a little bit of a tongue celebration coming out there, running up the floor. Here's Heel. And that time gets it to Moore. And Moore gets blocked by Rupert, who, well, maybe she will get a quadruple double. Let me see here. blocks, 12 rebounds, 20 points, 4 steals. There's only her 5th block. Not a bad day at the office for Ruth Perry. Yeah, she's got 6 blocks now. I mean, this might be the stat line of the tournament.
I think we can understand why the FFDB, the French Basketball Federation, are excited about this one.
Yeah.
You know you're hosting the Olympics in 2024. She might be the face of the team by then.
Yeah, I might want to be asking her what she's doing from September. It might come too early for the Women's World Cup in Tenerife. Here's Agnes, catches it down low to Heel. Shot clock winding up. She's not going to get the shot off. Boy, great defense by France.
Great defense. And maybe a little bit of a miscommunication. You know, you needed to know what the shot clock was at when you were taking the ball out of bounds there. And, you know, for Heel not to know that, that really surprises me because she's smart. You can see she always understands what's going on. She knows time and score. She's aware of the clock normally. So I'm a little surprised by that move by her. Fans are also taking a little bit of a timeout, sitting down.
Hey, good job. Right, let's go Viking to 2 here. Right, Viking to 2. We'll just change it up. On scores now, we'll stay in that. Right, we'll stay in 2 on scores. Okay.
You know,
offensively, right, just got to keep being aggressive. So against that pressure, keep attacking. Once we've swung it, right, if we bust out, it's not there. We swing it back. Now we're going. Okay, and be assertive.
Donc on n'a pas à balancer. Les allers-retours, travailler pour mettre le ballon à l'intérieur. 5, 1,
Great points now for France, just 2 for Australia. And now they've got, the big turnaround has been the points off turnovers. They've got 20 compared to just 9 for Australia. And also France have just taken over in the paint. Still just 2 points from the bench for France.
And you know, we saw the 5 threes from Australia in the first half, Scanlon, Palmer, and they only have 1 in the second half. So clearly France picked up their defense, but there was a little bit of a lid for Australia in this second half here on the rim.
Well, Iwodu catches it over to Rupert. Retour now to Sherry. Pardon. Back to Sherry. Retour for 3. Heel on the back. And Moore puts it on the deck and then loses it. Ball goes to Agnes. Oh, it's just fouled. What a break for Australia. Fouled by Sherry. The ball kind of just fell right to Agnes. What's this? She was at the right place at the right time.
She really was. And Moore kind of gets the ball tipped here, but then is able to sort of take out the defense on the way. And an easy and 1.
Three and a half minutes to go. I'll tell you what, does not convert the opportunity. Fowler battles for the rebound, Moore as well. Australia at the free throw line are having some issues. Well, 4-7. Not a huge factor.
We've seen them. I think the refs have let them play. Let's put it that way. There haven't been a lot of free throw attempts, but I think it's been very well refereed, and it's been equal both ways. And the coaches can't say, "Oh, well, we were on the wrong end of the calls."
Pardon says pardon. And now Heel. Yeah, the game's had a nice flow to it. Palmer, count it! Another one! The Rainmaker! It's a 2-point game.
We said it was going to be close. I think we were a little shocked at halftime by the 15-point lead.
Sherry drives in. Oh, she's got big plays written all over. And now the defense and a Moore and the jump ball possession arrow in France. And once again, the made shot sets up the press. Right when Australia put a little pressure on France, Xavi goes down and makes a play, and then she comes out and just plays like a demon on defense. Fotu's going to inbound it. Fowler guarding Rupert a long way from the basket. And France hit a three-pointer, Wadu. They got to get it to Agnes. Surely you make that pass, and now instead they turn it over. Nope, Fowler gets out there, but they don't get it across in time. I think they missed it. That's a too easy one. 2 for Agnes.
You know,
and the French coach is complaining to the ref that he thought they had another backcourt violation. Now Rupert right at the line. Inside the final 2 minutes.
See, right now, heel is dead, and you don't have any teammates coming and giving her an easy pass.
I wonder if Scotland might need to end the game, and they hand it off. Now Moore from the corner. And Fotu has it. Wadushi says, who needs to waste some time? I'm going to chuck it up.
Like I said at the beginning of the game, there is no three-point shot that she does not like.
No, she doesn't.
You know, time and score, maybe she should have pulled it back. They got lucky. They got the offensive rebound, so it didn't hurt them at all. But maybe if they wasted a little bit more time.
Fotu just throws in a dagger. And France have their largest lead of the game, 61-53.
Wadu says, thanks, Fotu. You just made up for my bad or ill-advised three-pointer. There you go.
1:14 remaining, and just feel like Australia up against it.
And you know, I look on the face of Heel, who she's going to give this all she has for the next minute and 14. And she has been working her butt off in this game. And you saw her on the last offensive possession for Australia. She looks dead. She really does. You can see it in her face, you can see it in her body language. I don't think she's given up by any means. Don't get me wrong, there's still a minute 14 left. We've seen Australia can hit threes, they can make baskets fast. So this game is by no means over. But I think she is exhausted. She is running on empty right now.
Right? No, she might
What do you think has let them down the most in the second half? The press break?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
But this is something they will practice.
Through the middle. Right? Hey,
yeah, I mean, clearly they hadn't seen a press like this probably leading up to these games. You know, they haven't seen a team as talented and as athletic. And I don't know why France didn't press the entire game, because I think they're athletic. I think they have a bench that could allow them to do it. It was their press break. And they spent, you know, Heel especially, like, I feel sorry for her because you see her trying to work, trying to get the ball up. She has no one to pass to. So if I'm looking at game tape after, I'm going, guys, why did you not give me any angles? Why did you not make it easy for me? And that's why she is so tired.
So Heel's going to put up a three, and she's going to nail it.
I said she's not going to go down without a fight, and sure enough, and guess what? Now they're in a press. You're going to see Heel up there, Agnes, Amor.
Fotu does get it across. Maybe Heel just needed a breather over there to knock in that three-pointer. Now France will...
Australia needs to stop here. You know, if you're
oh, you don't foul there more. And Fotu gets in, and just a horrendous play right at the end by Australia.
Yeah, you know, I think she might have got away with one when Fotu penetrated, and then, you know, you already got away with one. You're not going to get away with two, right? Look at this, you know.
Could have called it there.
I think just she's by you. Even if she didn't touch her, I agree with the call. The ref was behind the play. It looked like a foul, definitely. He probably, you know, saw the hand touch the hair, the back of the head, which is what he motioned. You let it go, and you hope you get the rebound.
Yeah, exactly. Shout at her. So I'm coming for you, but you don't touch her. You certainly don't get that close. Anyway, Fotu makes both.
You know, that was a big defensive possession for Australia where, you know, I think they needed to stop there.
Yep, they're going to need something exceptional now. Moore, Australia down 7. And Moore takes it all the way. So it gets it back to 5. That's some full court pressure. Oh, and an unsportsmanlike foul has been called on Moore. And almost, it seemed like the reaction by Fotu got the call.
She's fun. I like to flail a little. Hey, you watch soccer, don't you? We've seen France play before.
Look at Moore. She was stunned.
Think a little, and you know, we've seen that in the games that we have seen here and last year. You know, you and I did Eurobasket together. The referees are paying a lot more attention to the fact that even though clearly Australia has to foul, but you have to go after the ball. That's like an enormous emphasis right now. The referees have told the countries playing in these tournaments, you know, anything that's not going after the ball, we're going to have to call as an unsportsmanlike foul, which is 2 free throws and the ball. That's, we've seen it before, you know. We saw it last year, Latvia, Italy. They needed to foul. She didn't really go after the ball, and sure enough, right away, that's what the refs are focusing on. But don't get me wrong, the referees are also telling these teams, hey, we're focusing on this.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, you know what? It's a 7-point game. Australia need a couple of misses here. They need a rebound. They need to push the ball to the floor quickly and get it 2 or 3.
Have you ever seen Reggie Miller play?
Yes. He can do it.
He can do that. Maybe a Scanlon, a Palmer,
Okay,
a Heel.
possibly.
We also need misses.
Yeah, they need to miss
And you know what?
quick 2 or 3.
France is going to say, we're going to pick up full court because that has worked for us in the second half. We're not making anything easy.
Well, that makes it now an 8-point game. Palmer has it. And she goes back in with the left, and boy, she's almost made a tough shot. But Shari with the rebound, and France are going to move, it appears, into the final. And a foul called on Fowler. You know, we haven't talked about this aspect of it now, but this clearly, this type of performance in the second half for France, they had their backs against the wall. Oh, that's, again, you gotta tell your player, you gotta play the ball. We're gonna call it unsportsmanlike.
I think that was close to another unsportsmanlike call.
Could have called it.
And you know, watching the first half and watching Australia, we know how good Australia is. And these girls are going to learn from this, and they are going to be playing for the Opals in the future, some of them for sure. They're going to be Olympians. Australia has a rich history in basketball. They're going to learn.
Well, don't forget, as Stanley misses that shot, they're going to come back and play for third place tomorrow, a spot on the podium. But as it is, France are the team that is partying like there's no tomorrow at midcourt. They have come back from 15 points down to absolutely stun Australia. And really, it was sheer dominance in that second half. Absolute dominance by France.
And you know, at this level and women's basketball, the USA is the dominant country. We know this. Everyone knows this who follows. And in that first half, I was looking at Australia and I was going, wow, they're going to be able to compete. And you know, if the U.S. gets by Hungary tonight, I think they could give the U.S. a run for their money, like they did 2 years ago when they won this event. And then all of a sudden, the way France came out in the second half, they can do the same.
Look at the numbers.
Defense.
15 to 39. Yeah, I mean, probably the defensive stats are the biggest.
Absolutely. Rebounds, they really came back. 19 offensive rebounds, which is what they've averaged. Australia had 12, but they had a lot in the first half also. Look at that.
8 blocks, 24 turnovers for Australia.
6 by Rupert. Maybe 7. And 24 turnovers. That's going to be a big point of emphasis on, you know, why did we lose? Well, we gave up the ball way too often. and that's tough. You know, you can't expect to win when you turn the ball over 24 times.
Radu with 5 steals. That was a quiet 5 steals too, wasn't it? I mean,
it was.
Sherry came out and played incredibly well tonight. Rupert.
Obviously, Rupert is the
Fotu was exceptional in the second half.
Yes, and Rupert is the MVP of this game, possibly the MVP of the tournament. But I really, Sherry does so much for this team that kind of goes a little bit unnoticed. You know, like I said, when they were picking up full court, she was the woman who was on the first ball. She was the head of the press. Maybe she wasn't getting steals, but she was getting tips. She was forcing them. She was frustrating them. She got rebounds for them. She made some big baskets. And I love the way that she plays and the athleticism and the energy that she brought this French team.
Well, you know what? I mean, this might be the beginning of something incredible for this group of French players when you consider, okay, they had come into this unbeaten, into this game. They won at a different age group last year, but this was a test that, you know, it did not look like they were going to pass it. And to pass it the way that they have has got to bolster their confidence moving forward, starting in that title game, whether they play Hungary or the United States. And if it's the United States, you know, it'll be interesting to see how France come out mentally in that game and what they get from this. Yeah,
I think no matter who they play tomorrow, Hungary or the U.S., I think they're going to have learned that you can't start slow and you can't start kind of with your heels on the ground and backpedaling, because in that second half they came out, they were the aggressive on offense, especially on defense, on rebounding. And, you know, being down 15 against the reigning champions has to give them confidence to know that, you know what, even if we do get down, you know, basketball games, a basketball game is 40 minutes. There's going to be low points, there's going to be high points, you know. This is going to give them confidence going in tomorrow, because they came back against Australia down 15 and they just dominated for 20 minutes. So you have to feel good about that going into the gold medal game.
Absolutely, and they also have special players. I mean, Rupert's a special player, and Fotu as well. You know, and when they're all in, you know, in their rhythm, and you have to say it starts with that defense. If they can get into their defense and really start wreaking havoc with the defense, it seems like it just really has an impact on their overall game.
Yeah, you know, I love Fotu. Obviously, point guard, I'm looking at her. I'm seeing a great point guard. I'm seeing maybe, you know, a future Céline Dumerc kind of a point guard leading France in the future. And then you have Rupert. I mean, 20 points, 14 rebounds, 6 blocks, 4 steals. You can't really ask for much more out of a game from any kind of a player.
I was a little disappointed that she didn't get the quadruple double. She got 20, 14.
But then, you know,
she's a little weak on the assist department, just one. But
I'll talk to her about that.
No, sorry. She had the 6, so she did get the double. And it was an impressive one.
It was.
Anyway, folks, 1 is in the books. We'll be right back for the second set.